Welcome to the You Dad Me at Hello podcast. I'm RJ, and this is Mike and Andy, and we are coming at you late night, 9:20, because our internet was not friends with us tonight.
No. We all three of us, like consecutively, like dominoes, all had internet problems.
Yeah, we do appreciate you guys sticking around because already 8 people bounced right into our view here. So we welcome you guys. Thank you for staying up super late with us. We will try to make this as painless as possible.
You love us. You really love us.
That's true. I mean, who else would wait 20 minutes? Oh, we lost a viewer. They're gone.
That's the same Twitch viewer.
They said, "Oh wait, it's these guys." Right now, yes. I'm
out. Now I gotta wear this headset like I'm taking orders through the drive-through.
You do sound like a drive-through guy, Andy. Live from Burger King tonight.
You want some pickles? Do you want the pickles? Dane Cook, remember that stand-up?
I do. Pickles. That's actually a great album. It is a great album.
That was really good.
Hey guys, welcome to the You Dad Me a Hello podcast. We are here with episode 26, maybe. Top 80s TV shows. I'm really excited about this one. I hadn't realized how many shows I love actually started in the 80s. And now I think we might go to the 70s at some point, if only for Chips.
It's just a bracket of Chips.
Yeah, Chips episodes.
Yeah.
Eric Estrada, John Baker, can't remember his real name. But yeah, it's a great show, but it's not on this podcast. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Hey, anything new in your life these days, guys?
I have a new shirt.
No, nice. What is it? I'm glad you have a shirt on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and you're frozen.
My daughter made it for my birthday. Oh, no. Okay. No, am I? No.
It's a great shirt, Andy.
Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, T-Pain has joined the podcast.
Oh man! All right.
No.
Well, top 80s TV shows, guys. Quantum Leap, all the way down to Saved by the Bell. Tons of stuff going on this one, and we basically counted any TV show that started from 1980 all the way to the end of 1989. There were quite a few good ones in my list from 87, 88, and 89. You will find that we are probably more ladder heavy with the late 80s due to our age. So I apologize if you were looking for a lot more of the early 80s. But we got a good mix in here. We sent out the bracket a couple days ago. We appreciate a lot of you guys are chiming in and telling us who you think is going to win. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy with the final 16. There was a couple on my list that I wish had made it. But I understand why they didn't. Because, I mean, they were popular within certain crowds, but they weren't like smash hits like some of these other ones that are on the list here.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Andy's back, and you're looking good.
I'm probably going to be gone every 30 seconds, so my voice will get increasingly pissed off as we
Maybe
go.
you should drive to the actual Burger King in your town and use their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Next up, or first up, Quantum Leap versus Reading Rainbow. Very random.
Reading Rainbow.
Such a great song. Reading Rainbow, if you don't remember, was a half-hour educational television series on PBS. And it was LeVar Burton. Great dude. Wasn't he in Star Trek?
Yeah, he was Geordie LaForge.
Nice. I was not a Star Trek fan. Were you guys Star Trek fans?
No.
Only on Saturdays when it played before Saturday Night Live, I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I'm not invested in it now.
For me, Quantum Leap was an amazing show. Scott Bakula, Dean Stockwell. I loved both of them. I loved just the whole. It was kind of like Sliders, early Sliders for me. I loved Sliders in the 90s, but Quantum Leap was definitely my show. So I'm going to go with Quantum Leap on this one.
I actually don't remember a lot of Quantum Leap, and everyone is going to hate me.
Except for
Caitlin, which is fine because we live together. So I guess I have to play nice. But I'm going to go with Reading Rainbow only because of the impact that it had on my childhood. Quantum Leap wasn't anywhere near educational enough for me, apparently.
I feel like you need to go back now and watch Quantum Leap.
I probably should. And I kind of feel bad not picking Quantum Leap, but that's my opinion.
Andy, if you're still with us, what are you thinking?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, you're great.
All right. I did not watch Quantum Leap,
Oh,
so I'm gone with Reading Rainbow. Sorry.
no.
I know it's gonna alienate a lot of people
Man.
here, but
Quantum Leap was ranked number 19 on the top cult shows ever. And
By
you
who?
guys just kicked it out in the first round. I don't know.
Well,
TV Guide. TV Guide.
well, listen. Now it's number 16, and then you dad me at hello.
Yeah. Which is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
Top 16.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. I actually kind of want to go back and watch it now. But looks like we have a lot of fans of Reading Rainbow as well. Anything to say about Quantum? Well, you guys have nothing to say about Quantum Leap.
Not really.
No, not really. Besides Scott Bakula.
Yeah, I know he was a
in-
musician, right? He was in a band.
Wasn't
and
he
then
in some sort of like naval show later?
No, he was on. He was also
Bakula's
on
Heroes?
Star Trek. He was a captain on a Star Trek.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Captain Bakula.
yeah. Count Bakula.
Count Bakula. Yeah.
Count
Nice.
Bakula.
Nice.
All right. Well, hey, let's move on.
That's it? Wow. Quantum Leap.
That's all we have.
So many notes on it.
Well, if you have more, say.
Yeah, do you have?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were guest stars on here before they really jumped off. Jennifer Aniston, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then Neil Patrick Harris was actually on there too, kind of during his Doogie Howser days. So I know the show gets a lot of people's favorites. And I was watching the clips of it. It looks like a pretty damn good show. So
It is.
one of these days I'll probably get around to it. Hell, they even turned into a comic book. So
Oh, okay.
if you're
There you
turned
go.
into a comic book, you did something right.
Yeah, I think we are making a lot of the fans mad. So I'm not part of this, guys. This is all Andy and Mike.
Yes,
but
but let's focus on who went through Reading Rainbow. So, and we'll talk more about them. But don't be so sad.
all right.
Mhm.
We
Moving
got
on.
plenty. We got plenty more disappointment coming up.
Next up, we have Who's the Boss versus Roseanne. Man, this is this isn't really a tough one for me, and here's why. When I was younger, I hated Roseanne. Never wanted to watch Roseanne. Was not my thing. About 3 years ago, I caught the Roseanne reboot and actually really liked it. Then she gets kicked off the show, and The Connors is now the reboot of the reboot. And I love it. It's actually a really good show. So based on the kind of humor that Roseanne had back in the day that I didn't appreciate at the time, and now I do, I'm going to go with Roseanne on this one.
Well, I'm surprised by your choice. Just because I know we've talked about it before.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Who's the Boss. I mean, Alyssa Milano was in it.
Angela.
That's all I got. Roseanne's my choice also.
Oh, okay. All
Just
right.
putting it out there.
Man, Kevin's going to quit the show, guys.
Yeah, well, we're gonna make it a trifecta here and go with Roseanne.
All right.
So I really liked Who's the Boss. I watched it more. I thought it was funny. Like Roseanne at that point, I didn't really get until I was older, kind of like you. So catching a lot of the reruns, I definitely learned to appreciate it a lot more. And Who's the Boss? I don't know. It can be kind of dry sometimes, honestly, but still a good show.
Yeah, it was something I would watch occasionally. Apparently, I was only eating boogers, Kevin. Yeah, Who's the Boss was one of those shows that was just kind of on in the background. I never went out of my way to watch it. When Roseanne was on, I would watch it even at a young age, even if I didn't understand all the jokes. But watching it nowadays, it definitely connects. I connect with it a lot more. So I think that even if I was more familiar with Who's the Boss, I probably still would have chosen Roseanne. I just think it's a more like down to earth kind of comedy rather than sort of like a in your face kind of thing.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but Roseanne is essentially most families in Cranston growing up. I feel like, and I can only say that because it was my family as well.
I mean, that's what I don't want to talk too much about Roseanne, but that's what appealed to the mass, is that it was very realistic. Because not every family is a perfect family, and they talked about things that a lot of shows weren't talking about, and the way, like, even Roseanne and John Goodman as Dan Connor, the way they interacted as a couple, it wasn't all lovey-dovey and all that kind of stuff that we saw on TV. So,
well, I guess Who's the Boss is not moving on. However, if you are excited about Who's the Boss, it looks like as of August, there was a revival or sequel being announced. So hopefully you will see it again. Maybe Tony Danza will come back.
Hey, I mean, it's a source of one of my favorite bands. They're called the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza.
Oh, my word.
Amazing metal band. So check it out.
I mean, everybody thinks "Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancers." "Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza." Hold me closer, Tony. I feel like they missed it with
Tony Extravaganza.
Oh, nice. Huh? Tony Danza was actually a former professional boxer?
I
feel like I did know that. I feel like I did for some reason.
I wouldn't fight Tony Danza if that's what you're asking. He is.
I already contacted him and said that you want to fight him in a boxing match.
Well, I don't think I can do that. Tony Danza currently is 69 years old, and he will probably still kill me. But he was in Taxi as well, which was another show I used to watch when I was a kid. Which did not make this series because I think it's from the 60s or 70s. I don't remember.
70s, yeah.
But Taxi was a great show too. All right, moving on, just so we don't stay too long on this. We've got Punky Brewster and the Golden Girls.
Oh,
Punker.
Punky Brewster getting locked in a fridge outside. That's all I remember. She almost died.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoilers. But Golden Girls is my pick. Not even going to talk about it.
Oh.
Yeah. Golden Girls for me as well. I know, RJ, you've been waiting this entire like every episode, some sort of Golden Girls drop. So, but yeah, Golden Girls, my choice.
Yeah, I did watch a lot of Punky Brewster back in the day, but I think it was just because I was a kid and she was a kid, so you just had something to relate to. But definitely nowadays, Golden Girls, without a doubt.
Mary Lou said, "Golden Girls, Golden Girls." That's the deuce. She just dropped the deuce on us right there.
Hands down.
Golden Girls, from what I remember, really kind of got into stuff that shows at that time did not get into. It won a ton of awards throughout, but I just remember it kind of addressing a ton of things, addressing sex, especially as older women, and addressing a number of other things that I can't think of now.
Or undressing.
All things I relate to, being an elderly woman myself.
Not to mention Betty White is a national treasure. So
I agree.
She is. Well, let's talk. You guys got anything to talk about Punky Brewster? I mean,
how about when she gets locked in the fridge and almost dies?
Well, it was her friend.
Wait, what? It wasn't Punky?
No, it was Sherry. Is it Sherry? I think it's Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry.
She was trapped in an abandoned refrigerator during a game of hide and go seek.
My whole childhood is different now. I thought it was Punky.
Yeah. So I guess, that episode, a lot of people ended up learning CPR after the fact because of, how traumatizing it was for people and understood the importance of it. So,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really remember too much besides that. Like, I remember the dog, and I really remember the joke on Family Guy when they're making fun of him, like, Punker, it's me, your dog, Brandon.
Well, there is a revival of Punky Brewster. I think it's on Peacock.
It looks bad. It looks real bad.
So Moon Fry's on it. Sherry Johnson's on it. Freddie Prinze Jr. And the only reason I kind of caught a lot of it, first off, I just got Peacock recently, so I've been seeing the ads for it a lot. But there was a bunch of wrestlers that just made an appearance. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte in one of the episodes called The Look of Daniel. So, and Seth Green's already made an appearance on the show too. So they've got some star power for sure. I don't think it'll last too long, but we'll see.
Nah, it'll last a season, I think, and then probably get canned, in my opinion. I mean, Soleil Moonfry hasn't really done much since Punky Brewster.
She was on Sabrina, the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, and I know she was up for a role on Charmed too after Shannon Doherty had left the show. But I think ultimately she ended up losing the job to Rose McGowan. And I know she's got 4 kids.
She's got that new documentary on Hulu. About
I do want to see that. That's on my list.
She took a camcorder basically everywhere and filmed her and all these other, teenage and child actors at the time. A lot of partying, a lot of fun times. So
yeah, I was there.
Yeah, it does look interesting. I think it's called Kid 90, and it's on Hulu, I think. But yeah, check it out. Moving on, we've got The Wonder Years. This is a hard one versus Family Matters. The Wonder Years and Family Matters. I was just watching something recently. I had no idea that the Family Matters cast is actually a spinoff from Perfect Strangers. Harriet was on Perfect Strangers, and
she was like
you meet Carl,
a receptionist.
Don't be ridiculous.
Wonder Years was always a cool show. I did not get into it as much as I did Family Matters. Family Matters was part of TGIF. I watched that every Friday. And so even though Family Matters isn't overall one of my favorite shows, I'm going to give it to them in this round.
Man, this is a tough one. I feel like both of these shows could easily move on to the next round had they been up against other shows.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
What do you think, Mike?
Gotta love Fred Savage, though.
I honestly was going to say this is kind of the same thing as before, where I feel like there was more for me to relate to in Family Matters than there was for Wonder Years.
Got any cheese?
And I do like the Wonder Years, and I think if I watched it again nowadays, it would have a much more bigger impact because growing up, you would be able to connect to some of those things. But as just a standalone comedy show, I think Family Matters kind of takes the win for me.
Yeah. Man, I like Wonder Years a lot, so I feel bad because I'm gonna pick Family Matters. More so like the impact that Family Matters had after the fact, and you touched upon that it was a comedy show, but they had a lot of serious moments as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit. So bummer that Wonder Years is moving out because great show, unique. Kevin had mentioned the narration that was going along with every episode. And I think at the end it was Daniel Stern, who was one of the criminal masterminds from Home Alone. And who also played Fred Savage's father in Little Monsters. If you have never seen that movie,
great movie.
I was gonna say don't go out of your way to check it out, but if it's on, turn it on. It's a little weird.
I know they took the inspiration for the narration from A Christmas Story, right? That kind of style, because the Wonder Years was originally written as a movie script, and then they liked it so much that they ended up making it into a whole series that just kept going and going. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
A great show, Wonder Years, but it is not moving on. Next up, we have Married with Children versus Alf. I want to say it's a strange bracket here, but at the same time, the humor is very similar. Married with Children was a show I never really liked at the time. The father, Al Bundy, goes on to be in Modern Family and is a huge star today, still doing really well. I'm going to go with Married with Children. I'll talk more about that later.
I'm also going to go with Married with Children. Oh, the
Yeah.
Waltons had Anarchy too before my time.
Oh, okay.
The
I would have
Waltons
said
was always
Married
on
with Children as
before
well.
WWE Raw.
And I love Alf. I used to watch Alf all the time as a kid. But I feel like, that's a show that you kind of outgrow. Married with Children is pretty timeless, I feel like, even though it's stuck in the time period that it's in, but the actual like scenarios that happen in the show and the storylines and the plots and all the different stuff that happens could happen at any time. It would be funny if it was written today, even though they don't film and write sitcoms nowadays the way they did back then. It would still be funny. It's still hilarious to me.
I mean, it's one of those shows. I didn't watch it back then just because of how crude it got. A lot of it was not appropriate, probably for kids our age at the time. The Right to Censor or the Parents Television Council named it the worst show, and basically said it was the crudest comedy on television, peppered with lewd punchlines about sex, masturbation, the gay lifestyle, and the lead character's fondness for porn magazines and strip clubs. So if you're into all that, Married with Children is your show.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that don't hold up. I'm currently still watching back episodes of it, just because it is one of my favorite shows. But Alf, growing up, bigger than a TV show.
Yeah.
I loved Alf. I have an Alf stuffed animal that now I gave to my daughter. I met Alf. RJ, I don't know. RJ, I don't know if you have. Did you forget it? You forgot it.
I did forget it. Yeah.
I had sent a picture over of me.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get it.
All right, he'll find it. So let's talk about Alf. So it was always weird when. Do you remember in different parts when Alf would walk and you saw his feet? That freaked me out all the time. I was like, I didn't think, because they always showed him from the top up, because most of the time he was a puppet, and when he wasn't, somebody was actually in the suit playing Alf. There was actually an actor in there, from the planet Melmac.
Melmac, yeah. His name's Gordon Shumway.
Yeah, Gordon Shumway. Oh man!
So they didn't film Alf in front of a live audience because they didn't want to give up any of the secrets for the character.
That he wasn't real.
Secrets of the character.
There
it is. Yeah, picking his nose as always.
No, I'm in shock. I'm completely surprised that Alf is there. What? Either that or he farted, and I'm covering my nose.
Lucky.
Yeah, and he would always try to eat a cat.
Oh, it's Nathan Lesko. How you doing, man? Sorry.
That's all right. They had Alf had trading cards. I remember I had some of those too.
Yeah.
Alf was bigger than life.
So
he was an alien life form.
The reason that Alf had so much merchandise wasn't because it was popular. It was because it was one of the most expensive 30-minute sitcoms to produce at the time, because of all the technical elements they had for the puppets and the lighting and everything that they had to do. The taping schedules. Yeah, there's us nerds playing with some Ghostbusters.
Look how happy you are looking at me.
Yeah. Because I was about to throw something at you and you weren't looking at me. That's why. So to recoup all the costs for producing the show and filming, they had to do merchandising deals, and that's why there was so much Alf merchandise. And I also have Alf or had an Alf puppet, but he was wearing a baseball hat and a baseball jacket for some reason, because Alf and money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Married with Children is moving on. The next one maybe would have been hard at one time or another, but for me, it is not. Macgyver and the Cosby Show. This is a fun one. Macgyver, first off, I'm just going to say that's my pick. There is nothing greater in the 80s than Macgyver. I mean, it was such a great show. The reboot made me want to tear my face off. It was like a completely different dude doing it, and it was terrible. But this
I
one,
forgot there was a reboot until we were doing research for this
it
episode.
was so bad.
Yeah.
But anyways, Richard Dean Anderson, he's the man. Macgyver was amazing. He would basically like build bombs out of shoelaces and just ridiculous stuff. And everybody else on the show was really cool too. I can't remember he had the boss there. I can't remember who that was, but
I don't remember actually.
yeah, but anyways, the Phoenix Foundation, that was where he worked, but it was a great show. I loved it. So Macgyver is my pick for sure.
Before we get into this, let's say something that needs to be said. We have some controversial people that have starred in some of these shows. We're separating the art from the artist here. We're not going to dive into any of the nonsense that we don't need to. Let's talk about the show. If we're talking about the show,
he is not referring to Macgyver.
Yes, I'm not.
He's done nothing wrong in his entire life.
I'm talking about
except build bombs.
One of the most groundbreaking TV shows, and that's the Cosby Show, and that's my vote.
Oh, voting for the Cosby Show. I don't think I like you anymore.
I'm siding with Andy on this one also.
What?
Yeah.
You can't get rid of Macgyver.
I just did. I did. I mean, I watched Macgyver, but it was just like, okay, what's he going to build this time?
It's the same episode. Maybe. I don't know. I don't watch it. It's not my cup of tea. Sorry,
Macgyver is not your cup of tea?
Oh, I don't drink tea.
Wow.
Andy's never seen Face Off.
Yes, I have.
Oh, wait. He saw Face Off. That was one of the ones he saw. That's a throwback, everyone.
I didn't see the other half of the movie.
That's right.
Well, I only saw the crappy one with Nick Cage.
I'm done. You both can go say hi to Bill in jail.
No, you can't, because I have to go get my charger because I wasn't planning on using my phone. And so
I'm legit upset.
I should be good for it.
It's
all right, RJ. He made it into the top 16.
Yeah.
Talk about why it was a great show.
It wasn't. Oh, Macgyver. No. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm still angry.
No, RJ just admitted that Macgyver was not a great show.
You heard it here first.
Macgyver, man. Yeah.
I don't know, RJ. I'm seeing a lot of Cosby shows here on the comments.
True.
Yeah, well,
these people just want to dance.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Macgyver, please go back and watch it. It's a great show. I think it's 7 seasons long. It was there was an episode that it kind of scared me actually. It was about bees. They basically he had to I don't know what he was doing. All I remember is that bees were trying to kill him, and it was an awesome show. Whatever. I have nothing more.
That sounds terrifying.
It's killer bees. What's more terrifying than that?
I do like that all the stuff that he built on the show was actually practical, but they had edited certain parts out so kids wouldn't try to replicate what he was doing and like blow themselves up. I mean, that's kind of a cool fact, I guess.
I mean, Macgyver is so popular that it became a term when you say things like, I'm going to Macgyver that. Like, you're going to just put it together. You're going to make it happen because you're Macgyvering it. Like,
and they made a movie later on. Yes. You're such a fan, you don't remember the movie that came out literally.
Are you talking about Macgyver? That is not.
It's the same freaking thing.
Oh my word.
RJ, to your point, Macgyver is so popular that they actually call a Swiss Army knife the Macgyver.
There you go.
It was so popular that the pilot was so bad that the director had his name removed from the episode. Almost like our pilot for this podcast. I almost didn't want to put my name on it. So let's move on.
The only thing Macgyver has going for it is in Brazil they use Rush's Tom Sawyer as the theme song.
Nice. I think we should move on because the next one is gonna get heated, and I want to talk about it.
Oh.
1 more minute till
You're gonna have to play that in about 15 minutes when I go run and get my charger.
Oh man.
Anyways, all right, here it is, guys.
Loopy's right.
Next up,
Man, she's not wrong.
Cheers
Oh boy.
versus Full House.
Oh boy.
This is the breaking point for our fans, I think. This is where we
Making
lose
your
people.
way in the world today takes everything you've got. Hey, you're supposed to finish that. All right, whatever. Well, for me, it's hands down Full House.
Where everybody knows your name.
I mean, that's a great. First off, if we're talking about TV theme songs, Cheers
I was
might
just-
win.
I was just
but
picking up because Andy didn't
Such
fill in
great
his
stuff.
part.
I know. And they're always glad you came.
Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Okay.
Andy, are you having a lot of trouble over this one? Did you watch a
I'm
lot of
not.
Cheers?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It's Full House. I just wanted to spill suspense.
Oh man.
We have a
Actually-
lot of angry people, I think.
Well, listen. I mean,
I love
we
Cheers.
were all born in the mid '80s.
That's true.
So
I was born in
Response.
Thriller year 1984.
That was the first cassette I bought with my own money.
Thriller?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
I had a cassette with Expose, Seasons Change on it, along with Kokomo by the Beach Boys. Not really sure why they were on the same.
There's your Full House reference.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
hey,
Um.
excuse me for one moment.
Oh.
Oh,
He-
for real?
he
Okay, I thought.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Well,
must be going to get his charger.
Aunt Becky can do no wrong. Let
Hey,
her
Kev,
kids
we
go to
said
college.
we're separating the art from the artist. Okay, so and she
Yeah,
only
we're
spent
not talking.
she
we're
only
not talking
spent
about
3 months in
anybody's-
prison. Okay?
I mean, hey, if we're gonna bring up Aunt Becky and that's the reason you don't want the show, the Cosby Show shouldn't be on there.
whoa, hey,
Listen,
oh,
hey,
hey.
we're not talking
Moving
about
on.
none of that nonsense.
He's actually in. Is he still in prison? I
Yeah.
know nothing about that case.
I don't know. I'm not in prison, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, when you were, was he there?
No.
So,
different.
Mike, Mike, did you pick Cheers?
I would have picked Cheers
Over Full House, huh? You're old. You're an old man.
I am kind of old. Yeah.
I shouldn't have said
I don't know. I just I don't know. Not that I don't like Full House. Maybe I've seen it so many times that I'm tired of watching Full House. Sorry, Kate.
I mean,
I don't know. I do like Cheers though. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid.
well, let's talk a little bit about Cheers here. Yeah, Andy, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it didn't appeal to me. As a kid, I mean, I'm not a bar person in the first place. That kind of it puts me off. Like I don't drink, so that I lose the appeal there.
Andy loves Married with Children with all the sex talk and all that deal, but you drink, you're done. Not watching that show.
But that's all they did. They hung around in
That's true.
the bar. Like at least Married with Children, he went to a shoe store. Okay.
So actually, now that you brought that up, part of the thing with Cheers, where everybody knows your name, my family actually owned a bar on Elmwood Ave in Cranston. If anybody listening went to it, it was called Ronnie's Place. And it was that place. You would walk in, same people were there all the time. There was this dude with Coke bottle glasses. He would sit there every week, and it was like a family place too, because it was our family that owned it. So like me and my brother and my cousins, we'd go there and play pool with all these old men, like just sitting around drinking, and everybody knew everybody's name. My nana worked behind the bar, and it was right across the street from, or right down the street from the bowling alley, Cranston.
And they were like, "Hey, Nana, give me a beer over here."
Very much, yeah. And but yeah, it was a great place. Ronnie's Place. It's no longer there. I think my family still owns the house above it. But,
Ronnie, where can I park my car?
Ronnie, we got that beer over there,
I parked it on Reservoir Ave,
bro.
right near Rolfe Street.
Bro, are you raising the prices of these beers, bro?
No, that's nowadays. That's modern talk.
They're like, "Where are you located?" Right between the old Benny's and the old copy store over there. No, the one across from the barber. That's not there anymore. You know where it is.
You remember where the old Apex used to be?
Apex. If anybody who's watching outside of Rhode Island, that is
No idea.
Yeah, like
what we do.
everything's landmark driven. But anyways, back to Cheers.
Yeah. So Cheers didn't
that
do
was
so
my
well.
Cheers thing.
Cheers didn't do so well when it first started. So on the night that it premiered, or the week that it premiered dead last in the Nielsen ratings. So I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did.
But great cast though. Like
Yeah.
almost everybody that's on there.
Dee Dee Pritchett
Big time.
from Modern Family.
That's where I was going. Exactly.
My bad.
No, I wasn't. I mean, you got
Yeah, Ted Danson,
Ted-
Shelley Long.
Ted Danson,
Shelley Long. That's Dee Dee Pritchett from Modern
Rhea
Family.
Perlman. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh man. See.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
Yeah, she was married
With
to
Ed O'Neill.
to Al Bundy.
Yeah. See, somebody. I remember reading somebody who wrote, it's got a dog, and I named him Dan Tedson. I'm like, that's fantastic. I want that.
Little ditty about Sam and Diane.
He had Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah, Woody Harrelson. Yeah. Yep. Kirstie Alley.
His
Kelsey Grammer. Isn't that where Frasier comes from?
Frasier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frasier was a good show. They're actually coming back as well.
Woody Harrelson's character was named Woody, and it wasn't because of Woody Harrelson. It was actually that's the character's name that they had prior to him even auditioning for it. So that's pretty.
Oh, that's cool.
An interesting tidbit. Yeah.
Nice.
There's like,
nice.
You got to give me the job, right? Like clearly.
I know Ed O'Neill had auditioned for the part of Sam, and David Alan Grier had actually kind of like written his own character when he auditioned for the show, but they turned him away. But that would have added something, a whole nother element to the show, which I think would have been cool because he's hilarious.
Yeah. Hey, did you ever charge your battery and lose power?
Yeah, you're trying to do a lot on your phone right now, probably. So Andy might be leaving us soon, so we got to hurry up. I did not know that, Kevin. Thank you for putting that out there. All right, well, hey, next up, we've got Growing Pains versus Saved by the Bell. Wow.
Dang.
That's a tough one. I know a lot of people think Zach Morris is trash, and he is.
A whole show about it.
There is, yeah. But I'm going to go Saved by the Bell. Growing Pains, for me, Kirk Cameron is probably one of my favorite people in the world to this day. The dude is like a pastor on TBN or something like that now. And he made a bunch of movies that did terribly in
the Left
theater.
Behind series.
Yeah, it is what it is. He's like super Christian, kind of weird, but at the same time, I love him. He's a cool dude, super down to earth. And I beg
you to read more into him.
I like Kirk Cameron, and I have his books at home.
Okay,
but he's a cool dude. Saved by the Bell for me, however, is the pick.
I mean, a lot of people had different ideas of him, but
well, so if you're referring to,
I'm not getting. Are
we referring to the fact
just
that
read
he was
about
a
it? I don't know.
So in his biography, which I read, he was a total jerk in Growing Pains. Most people hated him. He was one of those like divas, and he was I think he was maybe on drugs. I can't remember. But he basically made a lot of enemies on Growing Pains, and I think the reason it ended was because of how much of a jerk he was. But he ended up doing an apology tour later, which I'm calling it that. But and he ended up like kind of making amends with most people from that show.
Yeah, that's what I heard that too.
He wrote that in his own biography. I actually.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. So you're going with Saved by the Bell, though?
Yes, Saved by the Bell. Yes, even though I talked more about Growing Pains.
That's okay. All right, we forgive you here.
When I wake up in the morning, I choose Saved by the Bell. See what I did there?
I don't know. I really don't know who I would have went with. We're getting a lot of Growing Pains on the screen here from people that are watching. I'm kind of in that boat where Saved by the Bell, things that we watched then that we thought were cool, we watch back now, it's very cringy. You're like,
it didn't hold up well at all.
No, the Zach Morris character, like, what a d-bag. They're not very likable. Like if they were like real people, I wouldn't like most of them. So anyways, Growing Pains. Growing Pains. That's it. I mean, Growing Pains was a really good show.
Great song.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
As long as we got each other.
Oh, I do remember that song.
Yeah. Hell, I mean, Alan Thicke.
Oh man, yeah. Robin Thicke's dad.
Yeah.
Alan
Thicke was the man back in the day. Jeremy Miller, Leo. They brought in Leo towards the end there.
Loopy, not a fan of Saved by the Bell, apparently.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio was
Yeah,
in the end of that show.
I just said that. That's cool. I must be.
I didn't hear you.
Well, they brought him in to try to save the show, and then it still tanked.
Yeah. So there was a really I don't know, emotional episode of Growing Pains, because most of Growing Pains is like Mike Seaver, being a butt face, and Alan Thicke, having to reprimand him, and Tracy Gold as Carol Seaver is the goody two shoes, straight A kind of person. But Carol had a boyfriend, Sandy, who was played by Matthew Perry, who obviously went on as Chandler on Friends. Spoiler alert. So he's her boyfriend for a few episodes, and he actually dies in a car accident. And that was actually written because I guess I don't know if it was one of the directors, the executive producer got the idea because one of their teenage daughters got caught drinking. So this is kind of like to scare her from doing that again. So it was a purposeful, I don't know, a piece of the script, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, I remember that happening, and it took you by surprise, because this is a very wholesome show. But towards as the show progressed, they started getting to more adult material, more grown up kind of stuff. So
yeah. All right. Well, hey, anything else to say about Growing Pains before it moves on?
I don't remember too much about the show, actually. I didn't watch it a whole lot, so it didn't really like bring back any sort of fond memories. Where Saved by the Bell is something I still go back and watch today if it's on, just for nostalgia reasons.
All right. Well, hey, moving on. We're in the top 8. This is it, guys. We are making our way down. Just a couple things to remind you of. Feel free to hit us up on YouTube. You can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can get your stuff. Make sure to share videos that you like. Hit that like button, things like that. But we really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us as we dive into the top 8. Next up, we've got Reading Rainbow versus Roseanne.
I'm going with Roseanne on this one.
Yeah, I think
Roseanne for me.
I think I would say the same. As much as I love Reading Rainbow. Yeah.
Yeah, Reading Rainbow, again, amazing song. For me, Reading Rainbow, I think I like it more thinking back on it, but if I were to like really watch it again, I'm not sure I'd be as interested. I mean, obviously I wouldn't. I'm an adult now, but there were just shows that kind of I think we thought were way better than they are. It was an okay show. Roseanne, obviously still holds the test of time, considering it's kind of still on.
Yeah. I mean, to get our wrestling reference in. There was a wrestler by the name of Paige Turner out of Texas/Oklahoma, whose gimmick is a wrestling librarian, and he uses a hard rock version of the Reading Rainbow theme as his entrance music.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. About to drop some knowledge.
All right. Well, I think that is it for Reading Rainbow.
Sorry for the quick send off, Reading Rainbow.
Next up, we've got, this is a hard one, The Golden Girls versus Family Matters.
Oof.
Oh shoot. Here we go. Mm-hmm. It's getting real now.
Those aren't the words that were in my head, but yeah.
Man, if we're gonna talk about writing and we're gonna talk about stories, I feel like Golden Girls did a better job of hitting some really good and serious points, while at the same time making it very, very funny. Family Matters, there's some scenes that come to mind for me for Family Matters. The big one was when Eddie gets pulled over for being black, and his dad realizes it right away, and it has that conversation with the white cop in the diner, and it's not as powerful as some of the Fresh Prince scenes that dealt with racism, in my opinion, but it was good. I hated Family Matters when Urkel became like such a huge piece of it. Yeah, and they did the time machine thing. Like that started to kind of annoy me, but in saying that, man, I got nothing. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go with Family Matters.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Holding my thoughts on it.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you would say something that would sway me one way or the other.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of a lot of Golden Girls scenes that I can remember because it wasn't a show I watched when I was younger. It was a show I watched a little later, but I don't know, guys. So we got a ton of Golden Girls fans here.
In terms of changing sort of how like primetime TV was, you know, I'm leaning more towards Family Matters. I feel like I'm in the finals right now. This is a problem.
It's a big one.
Yeah. Golden Girls was, as much as it doesn't seem like it was very much in sort of like, it was very much in your face because it was kind of like just, you know, joke after joke after joke after joke, because it was just those women living in the house together, just kind of, you know, riffing off each other and dealing with, you know, life after being widowed or, you know, divorced or what have you. Nowadays, I feel like I would connect more to Golden Girls, but I don't know. I feel like I have a more longer lasting connection to Family Matters because I grew up with it. So I think Family Matters will have to be my choice.
All right. Gosh.
As much as everyone is going to come burn my house down now.
Yeah. It's a tough one because I agree. Golden Girls was probably the better written show. Family Matters got really cartoony at the end. Thank you, Mary Lou. You know, but at the same time, it's reminiscent of our childhood. We watched it all the time. It was TGIF. It was just a part of our life. So Family Matters is moving on, no matter what, I think.
So, Michael
Good
just
point,
said,
Michael.
well, they did. There was an episode that I can't remember the exact details, but it did touch upon racism. And it was something that was a little different for Golden Girls. And Golden Girls was such a different show because you had 4 older women. There wasn't a show like that. There was, like RJ said, you know, there was adult things that they were talking about, you know, some of the innuendos and jokes that they would make about each other, which as a kid,
right over your head.
Yeah, but as you get older, you're like, oh, that's what she was saying. All right, like little dirty birdie there.
Picture it.
You know. So they, it was a really good show. I think it's something that you have to go back as an adult and watch it a little bit more. And
Golden Girls definitely hit up a ton of things. I was just looking it up. Coming out, same-sex marriage, elder care, homelessness, poverty, HIV/AIDS, discrimination, teenage pregnancy, adultery, sexism, interracial marriage, age discrimination, addictions, nuclear war, death, and assisted suicide. All in the 80s.
This sounds like a horrible show.
Man.
Mike, they wrote her off the show, dude. She was asking too much money, so they literally just wrote her off of the show.
Man,
all right. Well, hey, that's moving on.
Just a warning. I'm at 28%. So,
boy.
And I can't even. I was trying to message you guys on my laptop, and I can't even do that because no internet on there. So,
my goodness,
I'm hanging on here.
Restart your computer.
Patty, I agree. Family Matters was definitely on more in the 90s. Golden Girls was the 80s. But for this, we did count any show that started up to 1989. And so Family Matters did make that. It did not make our 90s list, which is why it is in here. So next up, we've got Married with Children versus The Cosby Show.
Married with Children for me. I'm just going to put it out there.
You know, I'm going to surprise you. I'm going with The Cosby Show.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Actually.
And again, that's
man.
all that crap aside. You know, he was named one of the greatest television dads, and I know again, we're talking about the fake guy.
That was in 2014 they did that.
Yeah. It was a show that focused on an upper class African American family, which was not something you saw on TV a lot, and I thought that it was groundbreaking. And it still is, no matter what happened outside of the show. They really definitely changed the view of African American families in America very early on. So I'm going to go with the Cosby Show because of that stuff.
Rudy.
One of the first shows filmed in Chicago alongside Family Matters.
Theo.
There you go. And now Chicago is a superstore of shows like Chicago Fire and Chicago Med,
PD,
and Chicago PD, and Chicago Justice.
And the Chicago Bulls were really good then too.
All right.
So this is on you, Andy. Married with Children or the
Mike,
Cosby Show?
Mike's got my bag.
I prefer one show over the other. However, I feel like one has more of a had more of an impact. So I'm gonna go with the Cosby Show.
Sorry, missed it. Darn it. All right, the Cosby Show. I was gonna skip it as soon as you said it. And...
Boo.
All right, the Cosby Show.
I'm booing both of you.
I'm surprising myself as well because I love Married with Children because it's
just so raunchy.
It's very raunchy. But they do it in a way where he says things and you're just like, what an a-hole, and like that's the way like you feel about the guy. Like,
Mike.
In retrospect, yes, he was the better dad of the two.
Yeah. I mean, here's like he hated his life, but did he really? Like he was enjoying himself. Just try to do the best he can. I don't know. He was kind of like the working class dad. I don't know. And it could have been a very different show. It was almost Sam Kinison and Roseanne Barr.
That would have been a very different show. Yeah,
that would have been a very different show. Just like both of them screaming at each other.
Just a lot of screaming.
Well, it's just a lot of screaming.
I mean, Katie Seagal obviously went on to do some really, really good things. Sons of Anarchy. She's also in the Connors as the new girlfriend of.
She has a new show out now too.
Yes, I haven't seen anything about it yet, but
what's really interesting is that the working title for the show was called "Not the Cosbys."
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
So, it wasn't the Cosbys. Complete opposites of each other, for sure.
I mean, if go ahead.
I was gonna say Ed O'Neill's Hollywood Star is in front of a shoe store.
Oh, for real? Oh, that's funny.
Like how awesome is that?
I mean, Christina Applegate's in it, she's great. She went on to Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, Anchorman, Bad Moms, and she was in this sitcom that I loved. It only lasted maybe a year or two, called Up All Night, and it was about new parents, and it was her and Will Arnett and Maya Rudolph, and it was an amazing show. And it got canceled because I think that's when she got cancer. And they canceled the show, and then she ended up getting better. But it was a great show.
Yeah, she's an awesome actress.
Yeah.
They said she was the best actor on the show, and they said that she nailed her lines or nailed her scenes in like 1, maybe 2 takes.
Yeah, she was playing like
too good for the show. Yeah,
she was playing like a ditzy, person, and she's not. That at all.
Thank you, Lori. It is Rebel. That's Katie Seagal's new show.
If Married with Children taught us anything, it's a man with a job selling shoes can afford a giant house and support a family of 4.
In Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago.
All right, we got the last of our top 8 here. This is a tough one, at least for me. Full House versus Saved by the Bell.
Nope. Full House.
I'm going to go with Full House as well, only because Zach Morris is trash.
Sorry, Mark Paul.
Yeah,
I really
holds
do
up
like
better.
Mark Paul Gosselaar too. Though.
Yeah, no, he's a good actor.
Yeah, Full House definitely holds up better than Saved by the Bell did, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Saved by the Bell though they made a couple movies that I liked, Hawaii and The Wedding, and then I actually did watch a little bit of the College Years. I didn't watch the new class crap they had, but the College Years with that big hairy dude as the RA, maybe I can't remember.
Yeah, he was a football player.
Yeah,
Golick, Al Golick.
I actually
I
didn't
believe.
hate him
Mike
in
Golick.
that show.
Mike
but,
Golick. Yeah.
but Saved by the Bell has that new reboot, and it has nothing on Fuller House. The Fuller House reboot was gold. And if you liked Full House, you liked Fuller House. If you hated Full House, you hated Fuller House.
Yeah. We keep saying Zach Morris is trash. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, College Humor. I believe it's College Humor that does these Zach Morris is trash episodes where they kind of recap episodes of Saved by the Bell, and in a very, very comedic way. Go out of your way to watch them. They're freaking hilarious. So at the height of this show, they actually had more teenage viewers on Saturday mornings than the Cosby Show did at prime time at night. So that speaks volumes of, who they were directed towards, Then what's really important is that Lisa's last name was Turtle, Jesse's middle name is Myrtle, and Zach's pet turtle's name is Myrtle. So,
All right.
add that into your fact.
I think I can one up you.
Yeah, do it.
Mr. Belding
Yeah.
has a degree
a
hanging
welder?
on the wall in his office, and it's for
Yeah.
Kung Fu.
Hey
Everybody
guys,
was
if this
Kung
doesn't
Fu
save it for you,
teaching.
Saved by the Bell is named one of the 20 best school shows of all time by AOL. So, and that is the reason it did not move on.
Well,
Wait,
if they can
AOL
fix
then or AOL now?
if they can fix their
AOL
dial-up.
then. Mine is fine. You're on your phone right now.
Oh man.
But anyways, yeah,
That's
Mark,
hilarious, Mike.
I know. I feel bad because Mark Paul is actually really cool, and he had a show called The Passage that I watched in 2019 that was awesome, and he was also in Pitch, which was this amazing show about the first female Major League Baseball player.
Can I just say you need to get out of the house? You watch way too much TV.
Yeah, you're right.
Come to my house and watch TV.
Let's move on.
Actually,
No,
I apologize.
no,
Screech is dead.
Screech
Yes.
died.
Yes,
Yeah.
He
Screech
did.
just
He
passed
just
away.
died recently.
Within the last month, yeah.
Yeah, sadly he passed away. But supposedly he did get reached out by some of the Saved by the Bell people, which was nice to hear. But yeah, he did just die. So oh, good. Pete, Pitch was a great show. Yeah, thank you. It was an awesome show, and it got canceled after one season.
Awesome show.
Yeah, a lot of shows that get canceled after one season. I mean, look at Firefly. Look at Jericho.
True.
Jericho had 1.5 seasons.
Look at all
Hey,
these other TV shows that RJ has watched. That no one else
new
has.
new topic for next time is
Ooh.
shows that got
Canceled.
canceled too soon.
All right.
Agreed. I like it.
Alf. They actually couldn't do a series finale on Alf.
Oh, really?
Well, they did a movie and then everyone hated it because it wasn't the original cast.
Yeah, well, because they ended it to try to push the network to try to get them more, and they were like, "No, sorry, you're going back to Melmac."
Yes, Patty. Firefly has a movie. I think it's called Serenity.
Serenity.
Actually, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I was not a Firefly fan at the time. My wife made me watch it just about a year ago, and I loved it. I mean, TV's Nathan Fillion is amazing.
Nathan Fillion.
He's in The
Yeah,
Rookie,
so
which
good.
is one of my favorite shows right now.
If anybody watches Bad Mouth on Netflix, one of the younger girls has like an obsession with Nathan Fillion.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like constantly, she'll have like these fantasies, and it's like a cartoon Nathan Fillion with his shirt off. Like, it's
All right. Well, hey, let's move on. We're in the top 4. This is it, guys. We're about
Let's
to
do
wrap this show up. We got Roseanne and Family Matters versus The Cosby Show and Full House.
I do. This makes me uncomfortable.
I'm a little surprised by some of the things in here. But hey, guys, this is it. Top 4. Yeah, that's it. That is a Firefly comment. From
Okay,
Patty.
I was like,
Yeah.
where
Spoilers.
we're going there.
Andy
All right.
Andy has not seen that show, but
It's okay.
it's a good show.
It's really good.
The
13
reason that
episodes.
Firefly didn't make it is because all 13 episodes were aired out of order live on TV. So things were happening on the show before they were introduced. And it doesn't make any sense. And it was set up from the beginning.
Mhm. And the first episode was a 2-parter. So seeing those things out of order makes no sense.
Yes. But anyways, moving on. Roseanne, Family Matters. What y'all think?
Oh man.
Yes, Morena is from Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
And she was on Firefly. Awesome
She
in
was.
Deadpool too, by the way.
Yeah, she's great. Oh,
I'm just gonna say it. I'm going with Family Matters on this one.
this is a toss
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, this is.
We're on a podcast, guys.
Yeah,
I understand.
we got to think sometimes. These are life-changing decisions. That
All right.
we
Well, you
gotta
know
make.
what? You guys think. In
No,
the
I'm picking
meantime-
Family Matters. I'm picking Family Matters.
Family
I'm
Matters.
picking Family
that's it.
Matters.
Okay.
Even
All
though it was a bigger show in the '90s because it was brought in late '89, but
Both
I'm
great in their
I'm
own
taking
right.
that into play. Yeah.
I just want to point out all of the things below.
All of the comments say Roseanne.
Yes.
I think
Sorry,
they.
everyone.
We're
Right.
losing fans today.
I literally have nothing to say right now. Except
well,
for I apologize for ruining everyone's night.
yeah. I mean, Roseanne. Let's talk about it a little bit here. If anyone has not seen the reboot of Roseanne and then the Connors, you should definitely see it. Give it some time. The Connors is a great show. Currently, I'm watching it live right now as the episodes come out. But it was actually Roseanne when it rebooted was canceled because of Roseanne essentially being Roseanne. And commenting, I think that one of the Obama administration officials looked like an ape. So that was not cool.
And then blamed
Artists
it on
from
her
the-
meds.
Artists from the I know. Look, this is why we had to say the statement because
But then we went there.
Yeah, but
We
then
went
you
there.
know what? You got to admit though, Roseanne to me is actually a better show now as the Connors. I really like that they got rid of.
all right.
the
Stop talking about the
trouble.
Connors. We're talking about the original Roseanne.
It's a
in the
good
80s.
show. And I
The
voted for
Connors
Family
wouldn't
Matters.
exist
This
without
is-
Roseanne.
RJ, this is what you do a lot. You'll be like, "Oh, this show has to pick because I like this actor in 10 other movies that I've seen."
Yeah, but that all brings about feelings to me about the show.
Listen,
like
There's no shows with Rachel McAdams on here or Keanu Reeves, so you
Right.
can't pick on the.
no, but I did just watch a Rachel McAdams movie last night. It was
Every
called
day.
The Time Traveler's Wife.
Every
I've
day.
never seen that.
Every day you
What?
watch a Rachel
I'm
McAdams
so surprised right now. Hey, what's something cool in Roseanne is that there was literally corn or canned corn, or it was either shown or mentioned in almost every episode. Yeah,
Alright.
you like those facts? I'm bringing the heat here. But no, Roseanne was from the start a very successful show. They were usually number one, even beating the Cosby Show a lot. People are upset because we're saying this. However, again, it's like the reason why I picked Family Matters is because I don't really remember specifics about Roseanne. I remember just liking it. And I remember laughing and just kind of the overall premise of the show. But there's nothing that really stands out to me because Family Matters was something from my childhood that I watched religiously. And Roseanne wasn't. It was something that I had to kind of catch up on afterwards. So for that reason, that's why I'm picking Family Matters. And I do agree. Roseanne was a great show, obviously, top 4. So yeah, there was a whole daughter switch because one left the show and then the other one. It's like
Sarah Chalt came in.
But isn't the last
Yeah.
Roseanne? The last Roseanne was the switch where you find out that everything was made up, or a good part of the show was made up.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was all a dream.
It was very weird. Yeah.
it was all a dream.
Now,
was
granted,
all
I'll
I'm
give it to them. Roseanne's real life brother and sister were gay. She inspired to push for introducing a lot of gay characters and issues into the show. And also, it was a show that really had a lot of working class issues. which they didn't present a lot of on TV. And so it definitely was really good. I know we're talking a lot about it, but we usually do that. We talk about the show that's kind of leaving. We're not. We're acknowledging it was a great show, but Family Matters is in the finals. Moving on, we have The Cosby Show versus Full House.
What year did Full House start? That was
Full House started at the end. Yeah, it was
88 or 89.
It was actually 87.
87.
Yeah.
87. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm going with Full House.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Full House myself as well.
Well, then there it is. All right, Full House.
Full House. Yeah, I'm sorry to make that so sudden, but
yeah, I would have done that too. Cosby Show, I was never super into. Full House, obviously, I watched a lot of it. And Andy, I really like the reboot of Full House.
There's a lot of great actors from the original Full House that are in Fuller House.
Yes,
and they really make the show great.
Yeah, yeah. I really like Full House because Aladdin's in it. Or at least the singing
Steve.
Aladdin. Oh no, the talking
the
Aladdin.
Talking Aladdin.
The talking Aladdin.
Patty's never watching the show ever again.
Yeah.
Can you see Patty? Can you see all these? I haven't put it on there yet.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys could see them.
She is absolutely disgusted with us right now.
I know.
Let's talk about the Cosby Show. Here's
That's it.
No. Cosby, he was playing a doctor that wasn't the original character that he was going to be. They were going to make him a chauffeur, and then the real life wife of Bill Cosby suggested making him a doctor, so that way it was more towards the show's agenda to kind of shatter racial stereotyping, which it did. You didn't very, very important show. You didn't have a lot of shows that talked about black families in the way that they did. Obviously the Jeffersons was kind of like the predecessor before that, but I don't know. It was really important. They did talk about a lot of important things. Man, I feel like they kept bringing on more kids for the show. But it was it was a cool show. Jaleel White was actually among those who auditioned for the part for Rudy. So imagine that, he could have had Urkel on the Cosby Show.
Surprised he wasn't at some point, to be honest.
Yeah,
he was on everything.
Was. And then Whitney Houston, was actually considered for the role of Sandra. And in the back of Rudy and Vanessa's door in their bedroom was actually a poster of Whitney Houston, which is kind of interesting. So,
and Sandra was like a last minute addition. Like the family wasn't supposed to have that many kids, and they were like, "Oh wait, there needs to be more kids so we can show that this family is like a close knit, tight, solid family." But that also happens to have 4 kids.
I think Felicia Rashad too as Claire Huxtable, just a strong mother, strong working mother, as well. Like just kind of the backbone of that family and kind of held it together. I think was really important to talk about as well in the show. I'm sad to see the Cosby Show leave, honestly, but top 4 people.
Yeah, my only thing is Malcolm Jamal Warner, who plays Theodore Huxtable, goes on to play Dr. A.J. Austin on a Fox show I watch right now called The Resident. And he's super good in it. So if you like Theodore Huxtable, you should watch The Resident.
Teddy Huxtable.
Yeah. Next up, this is it, guys. I'm not surprised here. Family Matters, Full House. That was the cornerstones of my 90s TGIF. Both shows started in the 80s, late 80s. How you guys feeling? Yeah,
I think this is where people are gonna. I think this is where people are gonna hate us because it's really about our age. When we grew up, like these shows were the pivotal shows of our childhood. And It's not. They just happen to be the late 80s. Like we can't control that, and that's just the way we do our brackets. That we consider the start time, because there's so many shows that go over the span of 10 years or more. Like we got to kind of figure out where do we fit these shows in. So, Carol, you can still vote for the Golden Girls. Yes, that is allowed.
Do your own bracket, put it on our page.
Yeah, see, I knew this is, there's some shows like that, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. We already did a 90s, and these shows were not in it. So
That's true. That's true.
That's right. You're right.
we make the rules.
Yeah, this is our show. Okay?
Our show.
If you don't like it, please stick around until the end.
Oh man. Yeah. Anyways, this is it. Full House, Family Matters. I'm voting Full House.
Oh, we're not even gonna talk about them. All right.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, you already made it. You already made
Full
it.
House because of Fuller House.
You can't do that.
I'm just kidding. No, I really like Full House. I thought Full House was great. It had its moments that I didn't really like. I mean, what the part where Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen get like a head injury and forget stuff because they fell off the horse. There was that. There wasn't as many serious moments in Full House. There was the serious dad talks all the time.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really that serious of problems. And that for me, I like drama too. Like I like comedy. So I wish there was a little bit more in that. Family Matters had that, but I related more with Full House. I really liked that. But yeah, you got it, dude.
Yeah. I mean, Family Matters,
Moshi.
you talked about him getting pulled over, and then there was the episode 2 where that gang trashed the aunt's restaurant as well. Then Urkel had to go in there with the wire on to try to get information out of the gang, and then because that's gonna work. Good policing there by Carl Winslow. And he got him out of there just in the nick of time because they weren't gonna kill Urkel. Even though Urkel was not supposed to be the main character, like he was just kind of a side character, and
I think he was only supposed to be on one episode, and then it was like a huge episode, so they kept him around.
Yeah, I mean, dude had his own dance. He's got a talking doll. Do you remember the Urkel doll?
I don't.
No,
I
you bought
repressed that
nanny
memory.
cheese. No, nothing like that. Yeah, and Urkel did cross over into other shows, so he appeared on Full House, he appeared on Step by Step, he had a minor cameo on Boys Meets World, so Urkel was everywhere. And then to the point where Jaleel White was like, "Stop calling me Urkel, I'm Jaleel." Yeah. Nobody knew his name because that's what he was famous for, so they kind of pushed him away.
He had made a comment at one point for his career, after the show was over, if I ever play that character again, just put a gun to my head and end it. I mean, that's kind of dark, but that kind of shows you.
He meant put a gun to his head and end the show.
Yeah, end the show. That kind of shows how far they really pushed that character, where he was everywhere. He was absolutely huge.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I picked Full House. Where are you guys?
All right. Even though I said all of that about Family Matters, I gotta go with Full House.
Yeah, Full House for me too.
Whoa, 3-way for Full House.
Yeah.
So
right.
So now we can't get any complaints because Full House had a good 3 full years in the 80s.
True.
Even though they almost didn't make it after the first season, it was almost canceled. Bob Saget considered leaving the show, but they stuck around. They pulled
dirty
through.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, his stand-up not family.
Oh yeah,
friendly.
you're right. Sorry. Yes, his stand-up was very raunchy. I saw him at URI probably 20 years ago at this point, and he was super raunchy.
And you were like, "Hey, you're not from the 80s."
Boo!
Just kidding. So there was some, I guess, awkwardness in the early parts of the series. So Bob Saget and Dave Coulier actually knew each other prior to that because of stand-up, and they actually were pretty close. And then John Stamos didn't really know either one of them, so they ended up going on some trip after the first season to try to have better camaraderie. and Dave and John Stamos were the single guys, so they would go out, double date, whatever. And Bob Saget was married, so he'd stick back. So that actually grew a stronger bond between John Stamos and Dave Coulier. So when they came back, you actually saw more scenes between those two, and they were a little bit more cohesive because of it. So
Nice.
but I mean, yeah, they had the spinoff. They had Fuller House because people wanted more of Full House because of the impact that it made on people's lives and what it made in TV. It did have those cheese moments, right, with the dad talks and the music comes in, and
Yeah.
you know, hey DJ, you know, you shouldn't be, you know, taking your
Super-
sister's pillow. Yeah, I don't know.
Super
something
close-ups too.
Yeah, yeah.
And the double take.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second time around. Great
Wait.
show.
Second time around. Is that the
That's
Shh, shh.
step by step.
difference?
It was step by step. Part of TGIF. That's why I went there.
All written by the
Second
same
time,
guy.
that's-
All
Yeah,
right,
Whatever
see?
happened to
Step
There
by
we
step.
go. There we
Perfect
go.
Strangers. Full House. Family Matters. All the same guy.
Yeah, all same dude.
Everywhere you look.
All right,
Carly
is
Rae Jepsen covers that for the new Fuller House.
No.
Is everybody super pissed that we picked Full House out of these top 6?
No, we have a couple people who are very happy with it, or seemingly.
Mhm.
Are they-
Everyone else
and
left.
Caitlin.
Are they all of similar age brackets as us?
Yeah, they are actually.
But anyways, hey
Yeah.
guys, that's it. Full House is our top 80s show, TV show. What?
Right.
And we appreciate you guys sticking along on the road with us. We've got a couple more shows coming up in April, and we're excited for them. We don't know what they are yet, but we will create them. But hey, if you have any ideas for us, feel free to always hit us up on our Facebook, on our Instagram, comment on these things, share these things. If you were very mad about this and you want to show all your friends how stupid we are, share that video. And if you agree with us, share it as well.
If anything, we're here to ruffle feathers and cause controversy.
A lot of ruffling.
Much like a lot of the people that were on these shows. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
we're
And
sticking to the 80s.
before we go, I have to give a shout out to my
Oh.
buddy Mike Burgee, his buddy Mike Mayhem, Arash. If you like what we do here, there is a podcast called This Week in Pop Culture. They also do This Week in Toy Culture. We're hopefully trying to do some sort of collaboration where we all get together and do this kind of thing. But if you need some podcasts or videos to watch throughout the week, Sundays and Thursdays, they do their thing. Something very similar to us. So go check them out. Give them some love. They gave us a plug on one of their last shows. So we are giving the love back.
Yes, appreciate it.
Last thing I'll say, if you do not like our show, you might like our music. And here
No,
Been in some fights, fighting some foes. When will this end? I guess that nobody knows. My heart needs to be repaired from the pain. I'll never be alive until.
that sounds super sped up. What's with all of our songs being played?
that one wasn't sped up. That was normal.
That sounded fine to me, and I didn't even
Oh.
write it.
Yeah.
It's me. RJ and I were just on another podcast where we talked about our music, and they were having technical difficulties, and our songs were like sped up like double time.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was like a dance club, and I was like, some things started sparking in my mind. Yeah,
I'll be
just
skanking
like-
over here.
RJ's like, gotta get through this.
Danny Bedingfield. Well, hey, thank you guys for joining us. This is another episode of You Dab Me a Hello, episode 26. We hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night.